Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and Combiner Wars Wave 3 is starting to slowly trickle out to online retailers. So I figure we'll take a look at the repaint, remold Voyager of the Wave. This is Cyclonus. Now Cyclonus is, as I said, a repaint remold of Wave 1 Silverbolt. As you can see, I know a lot of fans are happy because, as of this recording, Silverbolt is widely considered to be the best torso of the Combiner Wars line thus far. Now, I was kind of on the fence about Cyclonus. Let me just say right off the bat, this in no way, shape, or form replaces the great Generations, Classics, Deluxe size Cyclonus. And if you're looking for a Cyclonus for your collection to be Cyclonus, there are, I think, about 3 US domestic versions of that figure you can get in various shades of toy and cartoon accurate color schemes. So definitely go that route. But if you're looking for a Cyclonus that can combine and has a little story to it, then this is the figure. As you can see, the chest is relatively new. Obviously, the head. What I was surprised about is that the transformation is actually slightly altered. A couple things I'm a little disappointed about, and right off the bat, we'll just deal with this. Is he does come with a repaint of Silverbolt's and Superion's gun. Now, I would have liked to have seen a newer weapon for Cyclonus. There is precedent of repaints, retools, getting different weapons, Menasor and Optimus Prime, for example. It can separate, as the original weapon did. Um, Now, some reviewers have said that in the case of Silverbolt, they really are meant to peg into the arms instead of being held. And to be honest, if I'm going to have Silverbolt, or in this case Cyclonus, hold the weapon, I'll do it in its combined form, but from that second grip. It's a little tight, but it can do it. It just looks silly at this simplified gun form. The other issue is, even if you disconnect it and want to peg it in, um, they did add in some new parts, namely these fins on the arms. And I didn't realize it at the time from the photos, but these are actually pegged in to the holes in the arm. So that does take away those 2 ports if you want to go ahead and peg the gun in. But other than that, it's a nice figure. It is that nice shade of purple, closer to the toy than the cartoon. The wings are different. We'll see that in vehicle mode. Um, and basically, that's about it for robot mode. The core of the transformation is the same, so we're just going to skip ahead to that. The one thing I do want to show you that is different is you have to rotate Cyclonus's head around, and then it flips down into the chest like that. This upper section of the torso does not open for the head to flip in. Also, um, you will have to do some parts forming by unpegging these fins and then pegging them into the side. Well, I'll show you that in vehicle mode, which we're going to go to right now. Okay, here's Cyclonus in its vehicle mode. To finish it off, you want to take the little fins here, and you're actually going to peg them in to what was the underside of the fist. Kinda don't like having to parts form, especially on something like this, and I really don't know if they add much to the vehicle mode, but you kind of have to move them or else they'd be sticking straight underneath. Um, Another thing I want to mention is, due to the change in the wing design and the darker color, it is a little more difficult to peg the legs in because you really can't see the port. If you look at it from the top down, it's a little bit easier, and you do need to make sure they're in. So the wings here will come down and peg into the back of the arms. Other than that, new wings, Instead of one central tail fin, he has two that can flip up. This is the port here that the nose cone will peg into. It can also do the little trick where you can flip up the landing gear and peg the gun in underneath. We've all seen that. There's really no need to it. The vehicle mode tends to look a little bit more G1 cartoon accurate. Uh, in some of the scenes, like when Galvatron would be flying Cyclonus, in that regard. But other than that, there really isn't too much. I mean, it's purple, you got gold, a silver tip. I mean, it looks nice. It's got swoosh factor. But really, the big selling point of this is the Galvatronus transformation, which we're going to get to right now. Okay, basically the transformation is the same as Silverbolt. You do actually again have to parts form, moving the fins from the fist to the sides of the arms. I didn't finish the chest transformation just so we could both discover Galvatronus's head together. I must say, compared to Silverbolt, it is a little bit easier to flip out the giant robot head and torso. You just want to grab from what was the crotch piece of Cyclonus, flip that up, flip it back. It will peg in here, right there, into a tab section right in the back. Go ahead, there is this lower uh, flap piece that will come up quite nicely. And then go ahead and close the chest panels over the opening, just like so, just like you did on Silverbolt. And just want to just go ahead, everything pegs together, and there you have Galvatronus's torso mode. Now, the robots shown for Galvatronus on the packaging are Air Raid and Skydive, making up the left and right arms, and then Drag Strip and Breakdown, making up the legs. The idea being is Cyclonus uses mind control to pull them in and make them do his bidding. Well, I have the limbs. Let's take a look at how it looks, all combined up. As with all the Combiner Wars figures, Galvatronus is a little too big for my station. I actually have the tripod fully extended and pulled back, and as you can see, they're not all fitting in, but that's basically how it looks. I do like how they were able to pull off from Cyclonus's vehicle mode this chest area that is very close to G1 Galvatron. And the head is very nice. I would have liked a bit more pronounced horns, but maybe due to the complaints about Superion and his rubber points, they decided to go for a more subdued crest. But this is basically how they have him on the packaging, with its arms stretched out and, trying to grab and destroy and all this stuff. It is kind of cool. I am curious if we will see limbs specifically for Galvatronus. As many people have mentioned, his box color, the frame around the numberings, like 3 of Galvatronus, 4 of Galvatronus, is a unique color that is not shared by any of the other combiner teams. As of this recording, I haven't heard anything. And since Hasbro did announce that only there would be a certain number of deluxes this year, and we basically know that number, if there are limbs for Galvatronus, we wouldn't see them until 2016, which really would be the fall and holiday season of 2015, if they were going to be Wave 1 2016. But personally, I kind of like this. And the idea of Cyclonus using mind control, you can swap different limbs in, and stuff like that. I like the idea of its Autobots and Decepticons under control and things of that nature. Well, that's about it for the review. If you like the Silverbolt torso, I can highly recommend getting Cyclonus just because you'll have another great articulated torso to use. If you're not connected to the character, and what I mean by that is if you really don't see Cyclonus as a combiner, like I said at the beginning, there are ways available to still get that great deluxe version. Um, but who knows? I mean, we'll see what will be coming in the future. And that's about it. This is your old pal Chuck for Cyclonus and Galvatronus. We'll see you next time.